Hi there, I'm Chef Lauren Smith, and this is Conscious Culinary, where we teach you how to cook with natural partners, manufacturer partners, products. Today we're featuring Integrative Therapeutics. They have a great product called Curcumax Pro. It's essentially a proprietary blend of Meriva, 5-loxane, as well as isoquercetin. It's amazing anti-inflammatory and pain relief properties. So it's an easy to take supplement, and we obviously can't really cook with it, but what we can do is cook to support it. Many of these wonderful natural products that have these great anti-inflammatory properties are naturally derived from turmeric, a really powerful root. Now it's often used in East Indian cuisine and curries and things of the sorts, but I didn't want to do another curry today. What I wanted to do was a recipe that's useful to the seasons right now and for the rest of your kind of gardening life if you choose local, seasonal, organic produce or even grow your own, and something that turmeric is in that people don't commonly think of, and that's a typical pickling liquid. So what we're going to do is pickle some garden vegetables. This morning I cleared out a lot of my garden to get ready for my fall-winter garden because we have weird seasons here in Arizona. So I have some amazing chard stems, some cipollini onions, some green beans, what else? Some hothouse cucumbers, all of which they're kind of not enough to have a big batch of, but what I can do is do a quick pickle on them. And there's tons of really great organic ground turmeric in the pickling recipe. It's really simple, and don't be afraid of it, because when you pickle your own stuff, you'll have it for so much longer, and there's so many ways to use it. This is a great way to get a fun variety of veggies too. So if you're taking this product, or even if you're not, try it because it's amazing and it's a helpful thing to know how to pickle and preserve produce. So when you want to pickle something, if it's any kind of veggie, you're going to want to blanch it first. And blanching it basically just brings out the color and it takes off any kind of bitterness. So like I said, I have about a half a cup's worth of beautiful green beans. I have amazing little chard stems. Chard I use almost every day, and I use the leaves, but don't get rid of the stems because they pickle beautifully. It's kind of almost like a more green celery. And then I have about 6 little cipollini onions. I just peeled the skin off. I have cucumbers as well, but they obviously don't need to be blanched because of how soft they are. This is 6 cucumbers sliced in half, quartered, and then into spears. So I'm going to pop this in the boiling water. It's just a pot of salted water. So get all your veggies in there. And we want to give them about 30 seconds to a minute in that boiling water. Just so, like I said, it brings out the color and gets that bitterness off. So we'll give those a minute, but what you want to have ready is some peeled garlic cloves. We want about 3 tablespoons worth, as well as peeled ginger. We're going to blend those up in a food processor to make the spice mix for this. Over here we have some dill and about 3 dried chilies from my garden. You can use chili flakes, you can use fresh chilies, anything you want. We're going to use those later when we put the pickle together. So I'll give these one more little stir. And really, like with the green beans, if you see that bright green color, they're ready. So I have a colander standing by in my sink. I'm just going to drain them, give them a little rinse with cool water to kind of stop them from cooking. Okay, so you can see that just shocking them and blanching them like that brings the bright green color out, just like in the chard stem. So we're going to let those cool and just kind of hang out. And what we're going to do is get that spice mix ready. So I have a little food processor here. I'm going to throw in that peeled ginger and then garlic. So again, we're looking for about 3 tablespoons of each. And we just want it so that it's minced. So here we go. we go. That's all it takes, especially with a good food processor. And the next thing we want to have ready are spices. That's really important for your particular pickling mix. I have a nice little blend of just about everything that I love. So here I have a teaspoon's worth of a little celery seed, I have mustard seed, coriander seed, that beautiful orange powder right here, that's turmeric. That's what has an amazing health property, and it's gonna give awesome flavor to this pickle. And I have some fennel seed as well as some ground cumin. What I wanna do is blend them up in a spice grinder so everything gets kind of really well incorporated, and we'll add that into our final pickling mix. So just take the cup of your spice grinder and we'll just kind of gently pour everything in here. Now, one thing I did earlier was toast all of my seeds in the pan. What that does is brings out the essential oils inside of them, and it really heightens the flavor. Do you have to toast them in a pan before you use them? No, but it's a fun little trick. Okay, let's get the powdered stuff. And you'll see with turmeric too, you'll turn your fingers yellow. Okay. So we're going to give these a little grind in here. Okay. So we still have some pretty coarse seeds and all that, but it's just perfect for pickling. We'll just set that aside. And I'm going to get a large pan going on a high heat. You can use a wok, you can use a pan with nice tall sides like this, whatever you want. Just make sure it's hot. What we're going to do is toast up the garlic and ginger mixture, the spices, then slowly incorporate all of the good stuff that makes this an actual pickling liquid. So my pan is smoking hot. What I'm going to do is add about 1/3 cup of oil to it. Just a nice olive oil. We want to get this moving quickly. I'm going to add in the spices. You can hear that they almost start frying. Oops, we have some at the bottom of the cup. Okay. And now the garlic and the ginger. If you see smoke, don't fret, we want it, but move quickly. We're gonna get our veggies in. And then to that, we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of a dark brown sugar, 1/2 cup's worth of a pickling salt, and you could use sea salt. You just have to make sure the salt evaporates all the way. And then 1 cup of a distilled white vinegar. Give that a little mix. Okay, then we're going to add in 2 quarts of water. So 1 quart is 4 cups. I'm actually going to use about half of this to see where we're at with liquid. But we want this to come up to a rolling boil, and once all of the salt and sugar has evaporated, we're ready to have a pickling liquid. Now to get ourselves ready, I have 3 of these cool little mason jars. I'll use this water maybe later. I probably only need 2, but I have 3 as a backup. So what I'm going to do is put my cucumbers in here evenly. Let's see, maybe we'll do 3 jars. Now you could use the classic kind of mason jar, you can use the screw top kind, anything you want. Just make sure they're sterilized. So you can either put them in boiling water or you can wipe them out with the distilled white vinegar. Okay. Then I'm going to add some chili to each jar. These are beautiful. Do be careful to not rub your eyes after you've been playing with these. Okay, and here's some fresh dill. Adds a nice herby kind of kick to it. That's perfect. So what we're going to do is, like I said, let this whole mix come up to a rolling boil and let all of those sugars and salts kind of evaporate in. We're going to take it off the heat and I'm going to transfer it to a bowl, basically to cool. I'm going to pop it in the freezer or the fridge just to get the steam off. We want the mix completely cool before we put it into our jars. So once it's cool, put it into your jars, close it up, let it marinate for a couple days, and you'll have pickles for a month to 2 months. So we'll be back in probably, I'd say about 30 minutes after this mix has had time to cool. I've taken my veggie mix out of the fridge. It's been resting for about 30 minutes. What we were looking for is for it to completely cool. So I have my jars ready that we did up earlier. And what I'm going to do is distribute the veggies evenly amongst the jars. So I'll get them close to me. Just want to make sure roughly that there's the same amount of veggies per jar. So I had 6 onions, so each one will get about 2 onions. And then we'll just do everything else evenly. And once all the veggies go in, we're going to distribute the liquid evenly. Close these guys on up and give them about 2 days in the fridge before we eat them. We're going to have beautiful pickled veggies. And stuff like this makes an amazing gift. You want to give it away, you want to sell it at a farmer's market, whatever. It lasts, and it's a great thing to have in your pantry. They even just look beautiful sitting out on your kitchen counter. But this is an old technique that we've kind of moved away from in our modern food society because we haven't had the need to preserve things. Now, when you're canning things, you'd even go a step further and close the lids and boil them in a pot of water for at least 10 minutes to kill off anything and create an anaerobic environment. Now, just because we want something for a couple months, we don't really have to take that step. Just a nice little quick pickle. Okay, so my veggies are out. I'm just going to take a ladle, distribute the liquid evenly, and we're good to go. I let my veggies and pickling liquid cool completely, and what I did is distributed my veggies evenly between my jars, and I already put the liquid in, and I just have it to go for this last one. So you can ladle it in, and if you get impatient like me on the last one, you can just pour it right on in. And if you want, you can press down some of the veggies to make sure they're submerged. Okay, now we just have to close the lids. Make sure you store these in the refrigerator and give them at least a couple days before you really dig into them. It takes that pickle a little bit to set in. Now, if you start to see anything funky, kind of mold looking, anything on the top of the surface, you probably want to toss it. That means not everything got cooked out right in the pickling process, or maybe there was a germ in the jar. You don't really want to risk it. But otherwise, if you keep these in the fridge, they'll last for about a month to almost 2 months. So it's pretty amazing. They're a wonderful flavor too. You're gonna love these if you try this at home, believe me. And part of that is due to the turmeric in it, just like the products from ITI with their Curcumax Pro. It's the natural derivative for all those amazing anti-inflammatory and pain relief properties. So it's a fun way to play with turmeric, but it's also a really fun kind of skill to learn for your kitchen. I hope you guys try at least pickling something that you have before you maybe throw it away. So thanks again for watching this one, and I hope you try our products as well as the recipe. We'll see you next time.